A body is projected horizontally from top of a tower and hits the ground after 5 seconds at an angle of 45 degree with the horizontal. Determine the height of the tower and the initial speed, assuming g as 10. Whenever g is 10, it makes me happy. Actually, it won't. I mean, it won't make a difference because I'm going to use calculator. So, since you guys are in higher grades, I don't have to show you how to calculate things, So that's the fun part. But for younger ones, I need to show. So that's when I like, it's not easy, calculating and I mean, showing the calculation to them has to be done. So that's kind of the boring part. So we have the object says impacting at this angle, I guess. Looks like 45. And it takes 5 seconds for the journey. So we have this to be G. I'm going to take down and right as positive direction. And we have time of flight as 5 seconds. And what else? That's it. Okay, this is 10 meter per second square. Okay, do we have all of it? Yeah, I mean, we kind of have. So all of this works because of the fact that we can consider any given point of time and look at the motion of the particle in two-dimensional space, in two different parts. One is horizontal and one is vertical. Right? So we know that when you talk about height, so height of tower, we are looking at H max. So we are looking at what was I thinking? We are looking at initial velocity is equal to 0. So we'll consider vertical component. So starting with u of y, or you want to call this as v naught of y. Again, guys, I keep varying the variables. Please don't mind. So you should be flexible with this. So if I use this or this, you guys can understand. Time of flight is 5 seconds. Then we need g, which is 10 meter per second square. So what can we use? We need to figure out the final impact, initial speed. We need to figure out the height. Okay. So we can use v square is equal to u square. No, we can't use that. Oh yeah, we can. No, we can't use that. S is equal to ut plus half at square. Yeah, we can use this. So h max, or the height, call this as capital H. H is equal to 0 plus half of 10 into, this would be 5 or 25. So this is 125 meters. So we found this height of the tower is 125 meters. Initial speed. Okay, for that, how will I find the initial speed? Let me take a second. I should show you guys how I think. See, as of now, I don't know the formula. No, I don't remember the formula. We thought that is what I want to solve. So now we're looking at the case of initial velocity. So this is me thinking. Okay, so how will I go about thinking? So I know that my final impact is 45 degree because that's the only extra information that we have. So it has to do with something with this itself. So for 45 degree, we know that the right angle triangle will be equal, as in isosceles right angle triangle is what we have. So this, we of x and v of y, they are equal over there, right? There's no other option. They have to be equal. And v of x, we know that it has to be equal to v naught of x, whatever initial velocity started off with. That is the one. Now, so can we find vy? Actually, we can. Vy we can figure out using, because we have all the information along the vertical. Okay, so you have v, t, g, s, and so on and so forth. So yes, so with this reasoning, I'll be able to figure out my answer. So I'll start off with vy. So vy, that is the vertical component of the velocity at the time of impact. So I can figure it out with vy square is equal to uy square, v square is plus 2as. You can do this. Anyways, this is 0. I have to take a square root. That's not a good thing actually. V is equal to u plus at. Time of flight is known. Oh yeah, that is better. Why am I doing this? So vy square is, vy is equal to uy plus a into t, something like this. So this is 0, this is 10, and this is 5. And vy is equal to 50 meter per second. As the angle of impact is 45°. From this, we can imply that v of x is equal to v of y. So all of this, so v of x will be equal to 50 meter per second. And v naught of x will be equal to v of x. And all of them will be equal to 50 meter per second. Reason? Because acceleration or horizontal component has no acceleration is what we can end up with. Horizontal component of a projectile motion does not accelerate. Since it does not accelerate, what happens to the velocity? It remains the same. That's it. Okay, so there might be other ways to approach the question, right? What I'm trying to show is within a limited knowledge, I'm able to do all of this. There's nothing fancy happening over here. If all of this becomes so natural, along with that, if you're powered with the formulas, right? If you remember the formulas, then things becomes quicker in your competitive exams. This is the preparation for those questions. We need to go slow, we need to think, we need to learn from the scratch every time. Like repeat. It becomes for second nature to you, the line of thinking. Resolving vectors, using trigonometry, talking in terms of two different. This also improves your logical skills, analytical skills, and everything. Just don't go with the formula. Again, I'm repeating. You need a lot of complex thinking to go to this. Just writing the formula and writing it won't help. You have more complex concept coming in the future, 11th and 12th, wherein this should be second nature. Okay, there is some more complexity that you need to incorporate. So, right, you should get ready for that.